This is an article that came out in USA Today. Some of you might have heard about how bad the flooding is in the Midwest. It is devastating, okay? And it spans across several states. So this article came out March 19th, 2019, USA Today. And as you can see in the title, Nebraska underwater, 74 cities. 65 counties declare emergencies as flooding envelops state. And the thing is, the military base is flooded as well. So it is bad. I'm going to take you down to this map. And all of the areas in purple have the most major flooding. And then the red is moderate, so you can see that on the map. And minor flooding in the yellow areas. And you can see there are several states involved. You know, I knew it was bad, but wow, when I start looking at some of the aerial shots and everything, it is devastating. They're even saying they don't know when the water's going to recede, and to add insult to injury, more rain is coming today, so the flooding is going to get even worse. So this is the result of days of heavy rain and melting snow. That's what happened. And you know, the Midwest got hit with tons of snow, certain areas, and went through the polar vortex. It's been devastating. So let's just take a look. I'm going to read to you and show you the pictures because I have it pulled up on my phone. I can read it from my phone. 74 cities, 65 counties, and 4 tribal areas in Nebraska had declared states of emergency Tuesday, as swaths of the Midwest battle rivers swollen by days of heavy rains and spring snow melt. So there were areas that had tons of snow on top of these days of heavy rain. So this is the end result of it. Now, I know in Nebraska, the last time I looked, there's been over 300 rescues in that state alone. 3 deaths have been blamed on the flooding in Nebraska. Vice President Mike Pence was scheduled to survey the damage in the region Tuesday with Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts and Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. Heading to Nebraska today to survey the devastating flood damage, Pence said in a tweet to the people of Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, Kansas, and all regions impacted. We are with you. About 200 miles of levee were compromised, so some of the levees did break. In Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers said even in places where the water level peaked in those states, the current was fast and the water so high that damage continued to pile up. Thousands of people in the region had been driven from their homes by fast rising waters. Wow. In Mills County, Iowa, water stood 10 feet high near Pacific Junction, where only the top halves of gas stations, homes, and storage units were visible. So the water is so high, the only thing you can really see is the rooftops. County Emergency Management Director Larry Hurst says the flooding might be worse than some of the most extreme historical events. So they said this probably surpassed the 1,000-year flood. The last time they had bad historical flooding was 1952, 1993, and 2011. And they said this is even worse than those previous floods. This is actually different even than the flood of 1952, he said. There's water on this entire basin. Water continued to gush through a levee break near Plattsmouth Toll Bridge, where the Platte and Missouri rivers converge. The mystery, he said, is the timeline for the water to recede. So they don't even know when this is all going to recede. Wow. Glenwood Mayor Ron Kahn prepared to say his city of 5,000 was in pretty good shape, but to the west, where the aging levee broke, under rapid rising water last week, farms were swamped. That's all going to be gone until next year. So he's saying everything is wiped out in the region except for rice. That's probably the only thing that's going to be able to grow. Everything else is wiped out. Overall, as of late Monday, about 8 million people in 14 states. That's a lot of people. 8 million people in 14 states. Wow. Live where a flood warning is in effect, the National Weather Service said. That's a lot of people. 8 million people? Woo. In Nebraska, the National Guard said its members joined with the Nebraska State Patrol to escort a caravan of semis and fuel tanks packed with food and supplies from Omaha to Fremont. So I guess they're doing their best they can to get food and water in there to people because they can't really go out in this. They can't go anywhere. The Department of Transportation cleared the way by plowing over 5 inches of mud aside of Fremont, the Guard said on Twitter. Outfit Air Force Base posted pictures on Facebook depicting large sections of the base swamped by flooding, and officials said the water wasn't likely to recede until Thursday. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is this is unbelievable. I mean, you can hardly believe what you're looking at. This is wow. Okay. In Lincoln, city officials said power losses and water pressure issued led to establishment of mandatory water use restrictions, no outdoor use, and a postponement of laundry and even bathing. All right, so they're just trying to conserve their water supply, which I understand. In Illinois, Freeport City manager Lowell Crow said the town of 25,000 residents west of Rockford could see an all-time record flood along the Pika Tonica River. Okay. So they're expecting more rain in the region today. So the flooding is going to get even worse. I mean, if you can just imagine that, it's hard to imagine. Rain will spread back across the central plains on Tuesday and may be mixed with wet snow, along with north fringe. AccuWeather warned. Wow. More rain? No, that's the last thing these people want to hear. More rain? Wow. Can you imagine the cleanup in that area when all of this is said and done? Boy, these pictures are something else. If you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it. Now you can see that picnic table, just the top of the seats. Yeah, I mean, these people can't do anything but go to shelters, not unless they got relatives that can come in there and get them. But with all the flooding, I don't know how they're going to even get in. Wow. All right, y'all. So, yeah, this looks pretty bad. That's for sure. Well, I hope everybody in those areas are, safe. And you're just going to have to brace yourself for more rain. I tell you what, this weather, this year alone, have been beyond anything I've ever seen. Even in my area, we went through that polar vortex, and I'm telling you, it was cold I have not felt in a long time in my life. And we would have a day or two of cold weather, and then it would kind of snap out of it. This polar vortex, it just seems like it just lingered on for the majority of the week. So it has definitely been a very eventful winter. And I can hardly believe we are not even at a 90-day period yet. And look at everything that has happened. But, ladies and gentlemen, these are the times we are in. And we are about to see many devastating things hit America this year. 400 years, y'all. 400 years. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.